the Nerdy Misfit Podcast with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, fellow Nerdy Misfits?
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfits Podcast. Last episode of the month. Here we are again.
Shorter month for us as we're recording, because technically next month, the month ends next week.
Yeah, but this is the last Wednesday.
The unfortunate timing for us, which I didn't realize means that we have to record our Anime of the Month episode now.
Yes.
Where in some cases we would have had almost a whole other week to be able to watch it.
But we did not. And that's
we did not, and some of us probably could have used it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call anyone out.
There's only two of us here, man. Anyways.
But it wasn't me.
We're doing, if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be different of setup. We're doing a little webcam.
Yeah, so let us know how you
here.
feel. Do you like this more, or have you liked the full? I don't know. You're the film person. What do you call that?
Do you prefer the split screen that we're doing right now, or do you prefer the full set, both of us sitting at the table right in front of each other, where you guys can see that? I'm obviously in front of where we usually sit. Connor is on the other half of the room, so we're still sitting at the table. You guys just don't see that. So yeah, let us know what you guys prefer. If you prefer full set, split screen, etc. Check us out on YouTube. If you didn't know, we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Episode 100 onward, we'll have some type of form of video, minus episode 101, because that was the big episode that we were recorded back in January.
Oh yeah, that was the Batman.
The Batman episode.
The Batman.
Yeah.
That was a good TV show. The
Batman. Great dreadlock Joker. But anyways, yeah, Connor, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's later for us for recording.
This is probably the latest we've recorded.
I'm trying to look where there's a clock.
9:30.
9:32.
9:32, man.
It's not actually might not be the latest we record, but pretty close. Maybe by the time this is done, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, we were. Don't want to spoil anything, but we
just finished recording episode 104, like our 2-year episode.
Our 2-year anniversary, and you know what? It was pretty good.
It's pretty good. You know, it was pretty exciting.
It was pretty good. Not gonna lie to you guys. I enjoyed it. I hope Matt enjoyed it.
I did.
And we maybe had a guest who he said he enjoyed it. So unless he's a liar.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, it was really fun to record.
Next week will be a big one for us, so we hope you guys will tune in for the 2-year special.
Both Discord, YouTube, etc., wherever you guys listen to it.
But this episode is going to be more down the
Nerdy Misfit Roundtable.
Yeah, like a classic, series, if you will.
I think this is what it kind of is. It's like you called it an episode, a couple episodes back. It was like the Nerdy Misfit Roundtable kind of thing, which I think just sums up what we usually talk about, which is like what you're reading, what you're watching, anime of the month kind of thing. So I think kind of expect that for the last Wednesday of the month, kind of just like a random topic plus anime of the month.
Random topic plus covering anime of the month plus covering what we will be watching.
Exactly. So why don't we start with that then? Anime of the month of April was Haikyu Season 1.
Haikyu, Volleyball Boys.
Volleyball Boys.
Season 1.
Season 1.
25 episodes.
25 eps. Season 2 is coming out on Netflix if you're in Canada, watching it there. So
it is all on Crunchyroll.
All is Crunchyroll as well. But yeah, you watched like
it's five seasons, I believe, plus a 2-episode special, which is, and so that 5 seasons plus a 2-episode special.
Exactly.
And yeah, so it's 25 episodes. It's a shonen sports manga and anime, and it's about it's primarily about 2 students, but it's about a high school team wanting to go to nationals.
Yeah, plain and simple.
I guess you could say is like the overall premise. I'm not gonna lie, I've already seen the show. So, and I've seen the show multiple times, and I've gotten other people to watch it with them. So this is probably my 4th or 5th time seeing it.
Okay.
And it still holds up, in my opinion. Like, if we're going rating right now, I would give it a 9.
It's a pretty good show.
I don't know how you would rate it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I liked it so much, actually, that I watched the entire show.
Powered through all of it.
I didn't just watch one season. I watched all of it. And after I was done that, I read what was from that point where the anime ends, and I started in the manga and finished that part of the manga.
Which is insane.
So I took it a little far, I'm not going to lie. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every moment of it. And I actually wanted to bring this up to you, which is, do you think as you get older, it's easier to get emotional about things, or because for me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it happened during season 1, but there were definitely times during the other seasons where I could feel my eyes watering.
I wouldn't go the far of watering, but I can see what you mean. Where it's like
It has some really high impactful emotional moments.
I think it does. I think the older you get, the more emotional you get because you can feel similar to them, or you wish
Kinda
you
like
felt
relate, or-
Or you think about that one time you played sports or something like that, and you're like, oh,
That's not what I was. I don't know what it was.
fair enough.
It just made me feel so good.
I played volleyball in grade 8.
It just made me
so-
feel so good and happy
Yeah.
because that is a lot of what this anime is. It
No,
is
definitely.
very happy. It makes you
It
feel good.
Definitely is the epitome of follow your dreams.
Yes,
I
for
think
sure.
that is if that's one thing you
Don't
take away
let
from
someone
Haikyu,
tell you can't do it.
And friends can be, and your enemies can become friends.
Which, fun fact, our guest next week also mentions someone. Don't let people tell you can't.
Exactly.
Keep going. But yeah, so I guess this is your first time seeing it. So
Yeah.
kind of give us your initial breakdown, what you liked, what you didn't like.
Not
Are you
too-
going to keep watching
I'll
it?
probably keep watching. Like, now that I've watched season 1, I'll probably wait for season 2 to come out on Netflix. Not that I won't use Crunchyroll.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's subbed. I totally forgot that was
It is only subbed on Netflix as well.
that's what it was. So my
Thought the
apologies.
subbing was good.
My apologies.
Thought the story was great. There's certain shots that I was like really impressed with from like a filmmaker standpoint. It's mostly during like when they first get, I want to say the first mini tournament, but when they're transitioning from the different games of showing like other teams playing back to the main team,
Yeah,
the
yep.
transitions of like one team hitting the ball and then boom, it's on another court. Like that transition was really good.
Yeah,
on
they
the film,
handle
like,
the action very well.
Very clean for an animation.
Yeah, like
Um,
especially when you're like, how are they going to animate a volleyball anime? Like, am I just going to see like, here's the ball, now here's the ball,
Yeah.
which they do. I will spoiler alert, but in some of the later seasons, there is some lazier moments.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first 3 seasons,
Clean.
all of it is like that.
My big takeaway too is that you follow a team of people,
Yep.
but they all have their individuality.
They
which I
all
thought
have
was
the
very good,
characters.
very well done.
The characters in the show are fantastic, and
Yeah.
and it goes beyond Karsuna, which is the main high school team. It goes beyond that. The rivals you meet, so you get invested in those characters.
Even
as well.
season 1, you get involved.
Exactly. You meet Oikawa for the first time, which is obviously a big rival for Kageyama.
Yeah.
It's his his year above him as a setter, and everyone thinks he's the best or whatever. And then we also have Nakoma, which is like the whole hyped up thing of like, we want to make the battle of the dumpster happen or
Yeah.
whatever. And you meet some still unique individuals. Like we have like more of this introverted character who's the complete opposite of Hinata, who's our main character, but then they become friends.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
It's fantastic. I haven't watched many shows where you almost want to root for the rival as well.
Well, because they take that aspect away. Like, if you compare it, like, obviously this is a bad comparison, but, like, the Naruto-Sasuke friendship versus them is completely different. Because Naruto and Sasuke, they stay, in quotation, friends, but they're villains more than they are friends. Whereas in Haikyu, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's...
Like, they have enemy moments, but
and it's
collectively
competitive.
they're
Yeah, it's
together.
competitive, but yeah. And when you continue watching season 2, there's like a camp that happens with a bunch of different teams.
Okay.
And it just goes to show like all these guys it's still high school students. They're
Mhm.
learning. There's people that are still learning the sport or perfecting things that they want to do, and
Exactly.
I just think it's a really great story. A lot of the characters on the main team obviously are different age groups as well. We have the third years who this is their last year of volleyball. We have the first years who have managed to crack the team because they're so good. It's got a lot going for it. Great animation, fantastic characters. I thought the
Voice
OST
acting was
is
pretty
solid.
good. Yeah, OST is solid.
And I really liked also what they did with the animation where the net, whenever there's a conversation or something going in the net, they get rid of the net. You get to still see the faces of the people
Yeah.
talking.
It threw me off, I think, for the first episode. I was like, oh, that's kind of odd. But then it made sense, obviously. And
Yeah.
then it makes the more emotion.
And yeah, overall, it is a it almost comes into the line of we've talked about how you don't want to just recommend Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood because, it's very highly rated. I'm not going to say it's the best, but a lot of people say it's the best. But you don't want to just recommend the best and then
everything else be compared to it.
And I'm not going to say Haikyu is the best sports anime, but it's up there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
is it your favorite sports anime?
Yeah, it probably is. And I wasn't a huge volleyball fan, but it makes you like volleyball.
I talked to one of my friends, Matt. He's actually on a volleyball team, and I told him I was watching Haikyu for the anime month, and he's like, dude, like, some people are playing volleyball because of that anime.
I believe it. 100% I believe it. And it's just an inspiring, like you said, it's a very, like, don't give up on your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It does a very good job of exemplifying what it means to have a good team. I know that there's bad teams, but this is a good example of what it's like to have a team that wants to work toward a goal together, that they're all connected. And there's going to be moments where maybe there's arguments or fights, but they all work through it and they're doing all of this together. Play the High School Musical song.
We're all in this together.
So, So what would you rate it then out of 10?
Probably a 9. I think a 9's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's great. We'll have to later down the line, maybe we'll do a different sports anime to give you a little bit different comparison. But I'm not going to say it's the best one out there. It's definitely one of my favorites. I know that there's a lot of huge Slam Dunk fans and a lot of relatively new Blue Lock fans.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Blue Lock coming out, it kind of exploded. It was very popular. When we covered the most sold manga, it was in there. So that's definitely popping off. And I think Haikyu ending has opened up that niche for people. You got to fill in that sports anime or manga hole, right? And I think Blue Lock has kind of taken that into its own.
Agreed.
And Haikyu was always a top-selling manga when it was being released, when it was serializing. So I think Blue Lock has kind of locked that in place. in there. It's just it's so good. And if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. Just it makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those. It's not a slice of life feel good show, but it's a shonen feel good show.
Yeah, I would agree
some
with that.
sports.
Yeah,
high drama, but you don't think you're gonna care that much about some dudes playing volleyball.
And here we are.
But then you do. And Matt hasn't even watched the whole show yet, so he might come on a later podcast and might be balling in tears and be like, "I just watched the greatest thing I've ever seen."
What have I done?
Because we have had one person on, not Dan.Chan, but the other Dan.
Yep.
Who we talked about Star Wars, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And Haikyu is like one of, if not his favorite anime. He loves it. And with good reason, to be honest. There's not much. What would you say is bad about the show? I just feel like we're saying all the good stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything bad. There's nothing bad. Maybe that's what makes it good.
Trying to think.
Maybe people can think Hinata's annoying. Maybe they can say that Kageyama's setting's not realistic, but it's an anime. It's a sports manga.
Yeah, I mean,
it lives in the world of reality, but it's also not, right? Like,
I think there's a couple like animation choices just randomly where I'm like, oh. Like when they introduce like his really like
the side swipe.
Yeah.
I like that because it gives it like more impact. Because you have to
remember. It
does,
yeah. But I don't think that will be everyone's cup of tea.
It makes the volleyball court seem a lot bigger than it is when Hinata's going side to side.
No, definitely. That'd be my only nitpick, I think, overall.
So, I believe the movie that covers the next art or next game match is scheduled for May sometime. Depending on, Matt might be able to catch up in time. We'll see.
If I can watch 3 seasons and 2 specials.
Well, one season's only 10 episodes.
All right.
So
perfect.
That's at least 15 episodes less. But season 2 is 25, I believe, again.
All right. So I got
season
35
3 is
episodes.
10.
2 specials.
Then the two specials. Then the 2 seasons, which is part 1 and a part 2, that make 24.
Okay, so I have a little bit to do.
So that'd be 49 plus the 10, 59 plus the 2, 61 episodes. One Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood
watch through.
a little bit less than so do.
With the specials, it kind of adds up.
I think you can do it.
We'll see.
You can do it. I believe in you.
We'll see.
Look, if not, we're going to the movie without you. But you should join.
I'll try my best.
But yeah, there's not much else to say other than it's really good. I don't want to spoil anything. Let's just say that season 1 is the initial introductions to everyone. It covers the introductions to the team. There's some team members where there's stuff going on where they kind of slowly come back in.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just kind of start learning about some rivals. And honestly, some of the characters are just learning how to play with one another.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the story.
That is really the...
Dude, and then, oh man, this is the problem when you watch all of it. Season 1 also covers the start of the tournament at the end, or no?
No, they're preparing for it, if I understand correctly.
I don't remember. What was the last episode of season... Oh, season 1, the last episodes, they arrive at the tournament, maybe.
Well, like, yes, the end of season 1 is like the third, like, I think it's called like third day kind of thing like that. So it's like everyone kind of discussing what they're going to do next. The third year's being like, I don't know.
Did they already lose out of the tournament then?
Well, I mean, there's more than one tournament.
Yeah,
Not
so
in season
there's
1.
there's two big tournaments. There's like the I don't remember the Inter High, I believe, is the one, and then there's the qualifier to go to nationals or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Inter High or whatever it's called is the one that you see in season 1. Like you see them go against Oikawa, right? You see Oikawa serve and they lose to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is covered, and then they're eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
And that's
sorry.
where the
and
end
then
of
the
season 1
third
ends,
years. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's when the third years are like,
and then they're getting hype up for the
should.
qualifiers to go to the spring tournament.
Yeah.
Which is how to get to nationals is the spring tournament or whatever. So, okay, that covers that. It was a good anime. We recommend watching it. Do it.
Exactly. Now, moving on. May anime is going to be...
Anime of the month. We're on May. That's the fifth anime
of the
already.
month. The one of the month is going to be something called Flying Witch. 12 episodes. Came out in spring 2016.
This is one of Gray's favorites, apparently.
So, thanks for Gray for the recommendation.
What we're trying to do is, I don't know if anyone's picked this up, but Haikyu is a shonen, and now we're going into more of a slice of life, feel good show, and we just want to try and break out of our comfort zone. We talk a lot about shonen because at the end of the day, that's what we enjoy, that's what we're comfy with, but also that's what we're going to talk about because that's what we know.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean we don't enjoy the other shows. It's just we enjoy those shows / manga more. So that's what we're going to do. But for the anime month, I think it's a good way for us to break out of that comfort zone a bit.
Agreed.
I think we've done a good job so far. We watched Bocchi the Rock
and then Heavenly
Delusion, which are both a little bit more out there for us.
Bocchi the Rock is a slice of life.
And we watched the Monogatari movies, which are very not
common.
Your typical kind of shonen story, if you will.
And now we watched a sports anime. So we went from slice of life music-based anime to a weird sci-fi-esque Heavenly Delusions. How would you describe that? Mystery, yeah. And then the Bakemonogatari trilogy, which is drama, vampires.
Drama, supernatural, slice of life.
Yeah, so we did musical, sci-fi, supernatural, sports, and now we're moving on to
another slice of life.
Which is
a different kind of slice of life. We're mostly just trying. We'll still definitely be sprinkling in shonen for sure.
Yeah.
We just don't want to be strictly
shonen junkies.
We strictly just don't want to be doing just shonen. We also will be probably doing movies. We don't know. We are undecided if we're going to only do one movie.
I mean,
or if we might fit a couple movies.
We did the Bakemonogatari, so I mean.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe like we do like a 3 movie for each.
It'd almost be like a weird let's write out 20 Studio Ghibli movies and roll a D20 kind of situation.
It would end up being a lot of the whatever these episodes be at the end of the month. Let us know if you're okay with us covering multiple movies or if we should just kind of do what we're doing with the 12 to 25 ep series. And the big thing is you guys can join us. We have a spot on Discord for you to join in the thread for the anime of the month. And you can break it down with us. Let us know what you like, what you dislike, etc. It's kind of the goal of this series altogether is to enjoy the show with you guys. So make sure to, if you're not already, join the Discord. It's in the link tree below. And Flying Witch.
Exactly.
We honestly don't know much going in. I think it's
I
a
only
girl.
know the
It's a coming of age where a girl hits an age where now she has to train or get educated in witchcraft, and that's all I know.
Makes sense.
So we'll see how it goes. It's got a reasonable 7.5. So it kind of, for me, when I look at that on my anime list, because we've talked about this, but my anime list isn't exactly the way things are supposed to be rated aren't followed as such. Something that is by definition mid should be 5. So a 7.5 is in the range of this could be really good or it could be just okay.
Really meh.
So I'm excited to see what it is. And
That's
with
fair.
that said,
Moving on
we're gonna move on to
what we've been watching,
doing this month.
reading, etc.
It's been a nice April. Actually, it's been a very busy April. Actually, now that I think about it,
insane
insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
But
do you want to go rundown of what you've done first, or?
Oh sure. Actually, of today, which is still April.
Yep.
We both have seen the new Deadpool trailer.
Yeah, Deadpool.
What'd you think of that? It was okay.
I don't know. Like I don't.
It was
like,
nice to see Hugh Jackman in the suit.
Yeah,
since
it was
we've
good
been
to see
teased
him more. Cassandra Nova looks
Obviously,
okay.
from another universe.
Don't really know what universe.
Yeah, we
he's
don't know
supposed
much.
to be from, which was kind of weird. I mean,
There's some jokes you expect, like the stabbing and
yeah, some
the nether
stabbing,
regions
Wolverine
and stuff.
swearing, etc. You know, the whole R-rated aspect of it. I'm excited-ish. Like I don't know. Like I was more excited
He's
with the first
excited-ish.
trailer.
Matt loves the X-Men, by the way.
I know. So
Do you
I'm
love
like
Deadpool?
skeptical. I'm like Cable.
He loves Cable.
Deadpool is great. I love the movies. Great, solid movies. But not like, to me, is not in my top like 10 X-Men. No.
Damn. That's rough. That's harsh.
See, I don't know. Like, what do you like? We kind of discussed this a little off mic.
It's the only
Off
MCU
camera.
movie, so I'm gonna.
But
I mean, we're gonna.
We have to
watch
watch it. Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna watch it.
Exactly.
But
I posted the trailer onto our Nerdy Misfit.
I don't know if it's.
Instagram.
I think you're right. It's not the type of trailer that really got me like, whoo.
Oh my gosh, we got Wolverine Deadpool.
But maybe
teaming
that's a
up.
good thing, because sometimes I feel like those trailers give away too much.
They didn't overhype it. They didn't
I
underhype
didn't feel
it.
like they gave too much away either.
No, I really don't know what the movie's about yet.
So
And that's 2 trailers down.
We'll let you know
So-
when we watch it, or when more trailers drop.
Exactly.
But going into more of what I've done, I'm gonna look over to the side. Sorry, guys. I watched all of Haikyu, if I didn't mention that.
What?
So, what did we say that was? 61-ish episodes, something like that?
That's why
So
I
I
still have
watched
to
all
watch
that.
those like 80 plus episodes that you've watched this month,
Oh.
because
Yeah.
that was excluding what I watched already.
Oh, dear. Yeah, so I watched all of that. As you might imagine, that is a hefty amount of show already.
What have I been watching?
On top of that, I've been watching some spring season anime. I'm gonna pull up my phone so I can tell you guys what it is, because I don't remember all the stuff I've been watching. I've been watching Kaiju number 8, which we did talk about for on the spring anime breakdown of what we would be watching. And it's been decent. I don't know if it's as good as or as high quality as I was expecting it to be, but it's been okay. Sorry guys, just scrolling down. I have also been watching the first 3 episodes, I believe, of Spice and Wolf. I believe the Power Ranger show, the Go-Go Loser Ranger, comes out this week, I believe.
First
or
episode's
next
already
week.
out.
First episode's out on Disney Plus.
on Disney Plus. Yeah.
So I haven't watched that, but I'm going to be watching that probably after this episode. I haven't started yet, and I only have a week to watch it. And hilariously, it should have probably been our April anime, but I'm going to watch Your Lie in April.
Yep.
I always watch it.
Every
I'm your
April.
stereotypical anime fan. I watch that every April. So I don't got much time to actually watch it because I got a lot going on. But
You know, what do you got going on this weekend?
I've got a bachelor party that's going on that I have planned myself as the best man.
Wow. And what's happening?
We're
during that
playing
match?
D&D.
D&D.
So unfortunately, obviously, I won't be able to tell you how it goes at this moment of
So stay tuned
the
for
wrap-up
2
of the April.
weeks from now.
But Matt will be there.
I will be. I'll be one of the players.
You'll
I'm
be one of the
excited
players.
to be one of your
So
players.
yeah, that's going on. It's gonna be a 4 to 5 hour one shot on the weekend. We have some other stuff planned. I'm not gonna give it all away since Matt's part of the
Yeah.
party. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. This is what the groom wanted. The groom wanted to play a D&D one-shot with his boys. So I'm delivering.
Heck yeah.
If you will. Also watching Windbreaker, which is like a delinquent show where the delinquents at this high school protect this town. It's pretty interesting. I've been kind of enjoying it so far. Giving it the classic 3-episode try. We got the Konosuba season. And then Demon Slayer, I haven't watched any. I don't know if any's out yet, but that is also this season. And so was Mushoku Tensei. So there's some I still haven't watched that I know I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
But I've been kind of giving some of the newer stuff a try and seeing how it's going.
Makes sense.
The other big show that's actually been keeping or hogging my hours, I guess you could say, or my time, I've been rewatching Prison Break.
Such a good show.
I am on season 4. I had to think about it. I was like, what seasons? Because season 1 and 2 kind of, they fit so well together.
Yeah. And season 3
that they almost are like they feel like they're together.
Yeah.
So I'm on season 4, only like the first 2 or 3 episodes into season 4. So I left Panama, which is what season 3 is in, and now we're on the season where now it's no longer prison. They're not breaking out of a prison, but they're trying to break into a building.
Yep.
Oh, reverse. Uno reverse.
Boom.
But yeah, I've been rewatching that. This is my second time watching it.
It's a good show though.
I gotta be honest, I totally forgot so much of what the show was about when it came to the corruption of the company.
Yeah. The company.
I always just thought I remember when I started rewatching, I was like, oh yeah, like I remember now. It was like his brother's framed and that's why he's going. And then there's the stuff with, I'm like, was my brain turned off the first time I saw it? I do not remember the complexity and how insane the company actually was.
Yeah. Everything is interconnected in that show.
But the actors are great.
Yeah.
If you're into the CW shows, you've definitely
Miller,
seen
Dominic Purcell.
You've definitely seen them.
Captain Cold and Heatwave. I mean, the actor that plays Teabag, he plays the Clockwork King in Arrow. And what is the mafia guy who also escapes from prison season 1? What's his name?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
I can't remember what his name is either in Prison Break, but he plays one of the counts in Arrow as well, like Count Vertigo. He plays the second version. Yep.
You're right.
Yeah, those are the core 4 that were in the CW.
They're only missing
that were also
like
in Prison Break.
Damien should have been in Prison Break. I know. Because he's in both Arrow and Flash, I believe.
Which one?
Damien. He's I don't remember the name of the actor, but he's got like the white hair. He's called Damian Black, I believe.
Oh,
Arrow.
yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But I believe he shows up in the Flash later in the Flash.
I think
seasons.
so, yeah.
He's in a lot of stuff. That guy, he's always like there. That's one of my favorite things. I don't know actors at all. Matt knows this. Like I'm horrible with names. Horrible. I'm just horrible with names. Horrible with names. Speaking of which, our guest's name is Matt, so didn't have to Didn't have to work hard on that name. But I'm horrible with names, so actors' names are not good. So one thing that whenever I'm watching something like with my girlfriend or say something with Matt, I'll be like, I recognize this person, and it's like this crazy mental gymnastics that goes on in my brain where I have to try and find out where they're from without knowing them.
Yeah, well, it was like my friend was watching Aquamarine the other day. The mermaid. It's a
mermaid
movie.
Yeah, mermaid
so
movie.
he was watching it and he was like, yeah, watch it. I could not place the main actress. I was like, oh, you mean the actress that was in Halloween Town 4 when they replaced the main actress? It was her.
See,
and he's like, oh, that's exactly who it was. I was like, yeah.
I'm pretty good with the placing stuff. Like I can be like, oh, I recognize this person. What was an example of something recent? I've been watching Gossip Girl.
Yep.
A lot of Gossip Girl recently. First time watching Gossip Girl. Blake Lively. I like Blake Lively. The show is like
yeah.
The show is so dramatic that it frustrates me because it's so dumb, but I also can't stop watching it.
It's a weirdly addictive show, that's for sure.
But anyways, the love interest from Arrow is in it.
Yep.
And I was like, I remember seeing her and I was like, oh my gosh, I know this person. I know, who are they? Where are they? Who are they from? What are they from? And I'm like trying to, and I could not for some reason get the detective from Lucifer out of my mind. I kept seeing her and I was like, no, it's not her. It's not her. And then, it came that it was the love interest in Arrow. And I was like, and it's just this relief of being like, I figured it out, even though I still don't know her name because I never looked it up.
Fair. I mean, you got Gossip Girl's got the guy from You.
Yes, it does.
That's Blake Lively,
and he
obviously.
looks so the same, which is disturbing.
He did not
'cause
age.
he's
It's kind of
supposed to be a high school student. That's the other thing that's a little weird about the show.
That's
They're
early
supposed to
2000s for you, man. Come on, look at Smallville, okay?
They're
Think of
all-
Smallville.
They're all supposed. I can believe in Smallville that he's just this guy that happens to be a little bit. Some people are more jacked in
I
Sprout earlier
guess.
because Chloe from Smallville. I can believe that she's and that nerd guy that's with I can't remember.
Pete?
Yeah, I can believe that those are high school students.
Okay.
But in you can't believe anyone in
No,
Gossip
gosh,
Girl's
no.
a high school student, and they're all drinking at like the nicest bars.
Yeah.
That just does not fly. It makes no
High
sense.
education.
But so obviously with that being said, I also been watching a lot of Gossip Girl. I don't remember what season I'm on, and have you seen it?
I watched it like years ago, but I think it's like halfway through the series they changed the story basically of like who Gossip Girl is.
Yes,
like
I've
that
heard
kind
this
of-
rumor, or not a rumor. This thing. This is the person I'm watching with my girlfriend. She told me this because at first I thought the whole point was trying to figure out who it was, but they don't. It doesn't actually matter.
No, it's not a mystery.
There
in
is
that regard.
literally zero
It's just the
crabs given. It
dramatic
does not
gossip
matter.
crap.
It's just the essentially Reddit
Yeah.
for the city
Yeah.
of the high life people essentially. And and I was like, oh, like
That's one way of
I was
putting
trying to
it.
figure it out who there was, and then I realized it doesn't matter because it really doesn't actually play a huge part in terms of who Gossip Girl is.
Yeah.
And then the obviously, like you mentioned, they changed the story. Apparently, there was leaks of who it was going to be, and they changed it, which in my opinion is really dumb in storytelling. Like, don't you want to be able to foreshadow and give hints at what
I
who
saw
can be
a
what?
post about this concept about plot twisting earlier, right? And it was like people being like, "Oh, like I guess this plot twist, so now it's not good anymore." And the thing is that if you're an author and you're leaving the breadcrumbs to create a great plot twist, and your audience figures that out,
Keep going.
keep going. Are you kidding me? That
yeah,
means
I
you're
mentioned,
telling a story
I
that
mentioned
people are
something about
enjoying.
it was a George R. R. Martin interview
yeah,
where someone asked him, "How do you feel?" One, obviously, Game of Thrones is over, so the general ending ish. There might be some similarities, some of which people have obviously guessed, and then the show kind of confirmed. And George R. R. Martin, one, obviously said things will obviously play slightly different in the book because the book and the show are different. And the other thing he said was there has been people that have guessed what I've written, who's what, and how things are going to go. And he said, I've been writing this story for decades, leaving foreshadowing, breadcrumbs, leaving
exactly.
hints. If people pick up, he's like, if people pick up on them, that's great. That's part of why I wrote that stuff. And
Exactly.
he's like, this is my story. This is my story in my head. I'm not going to let people, because they guess stuff, change my story, which I feel like is how you should approach writing. Obviously, writing shows, especially a drama, when you're trying to make it just go forever or as long as possible, is a little different. But I think they could have done something more with the whole Gossip Girl, who it is, a probably mystery kind of overlapping the entire series. I think would have been fun, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get that into it because I don't think it's the greatest show. It's just highly addicting.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to something else. What else have I done? I cooked a brisket.
Nice.
First time. Turned out decent.
That's good.
I don't think it was bad. I think there was room for improvement is what I'm going to say. It wasn't bad. It was definitely solid. It passed a lot of the tests people say for brisket. I just think I would adjust a few things and give it another go maybe a few months down the line. But
Like another brisket.
it was fun. It was fun and good.
Are you reading anything right now? Reading wise?
Reading is complex. Okay, so let me bring it down. So for some reason, reading is one of the hardest things for me to do because I'm just so easily distracted.
Yeah.
This is why manga is so good. It's like, read it on a Sunday, done.
Dodzo.
Read the chapter. Well, obviously you have to be caught up, if you know. But so obviously I've been keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece. I feel like I say this every month or every time we do this. Those are the big ones I'm always keeping up with. My Hero, I give. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes 5, sometimes longer weeks, and then I kind of binge read it. I haven't binge read it in a while. And then actual reading, I've been reading the Dune series, but on top of reading the Dune series, I'm still reading the Percy Jackson series, but they kind of like, I'm at this like crossroads of like, I'm forgetting stuff from the Percy Jackson series because I'm reading stuff from the Dune series, but then I'm reading. Just so many
there's a
things
lot
in
of
my
going
brain.
on at once. Yeah, if you're not used to reading 3 or 4 books at once that are different source materials, I should say, like outside of just comics.
And it's like keeping all the stuff I know about like One Piece still like in my brain and fresh and whatnot. So obviously, the Percy Jackson series has taken me much longer than anticipated, and it's not because the series is hard to read. It's definitely a my issue kind of thing where it's just the way I approach reading is, oh, I've got free time, I'm gonna read, and I can't be by my computer. That's a key thing because I'm very easy to
into the computer
because I can play games. And I do get lost in shorts sometimes as well. I think doom scrolling. I think what I need to do is just set, even if it's just half an hour, 45 minutes, just sit in like the recliner chair and just read a couple chapters. Whatever I can get done in those 30, 45 minutes, like do it. And then I'll get through. Because like we've mentioned before, we used to work in tourism. And during the dead season, we cranked through Harry Potter and stuff, right? Yeah. Like if I still worked down there when it was dead and I've done all the one thing is we always did our work first. Work was always done. Customer always came first. This was just to kill time.
Exactly.
But I would have already been done Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it's like now that I have the ability to do
everything else. Yeah.
So I will get it done. I believe you said your girlfriend was reading it.
She just started it. Yeah.
So we're in a race. She doesn't know it. She probably knows it if she's watching this episode.
Listen to this episode.
So challenge. I'm gonna say it's accepted. You accepted it.
You accepted it.
You accepted the challenge. I'm 1 book ahead.
That's true.
I'm a book and a half ahead.
So just know, babe, if you're listening, you need to hurry up and read it because Connor's gonna beat you otherwise.
I'll crank through it. Yeah. Maybe competition's good. Maybe I'll really read it fast.
Maybe.
What else have I been up to actually? I've been playing games.
Oh.
So unfortunately, our D&D campaign is on a hiatus, a Hunter x Hunter level hiatus of. It'll be back when it's back. And in the meantime, on the Tuesdays, which is when we were originally playing D&D, we have started a game night.
Oh, nice.
Everyone from the D&D session is technically invited, but not all of them turn up. But some do. And we've been spinning a wheel to figure out what game we're going to play. And we've played games such as I'm reading this list, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep.
Monopoly.
Yep.
Game of Life.
Yep.
Risk.
Nice.
Jackbox, multiple Jackbox games, Pummel Party, which is a ripoff of Mario Party, but it's pretty fun.
Okay.
But you can play it obviously online with friends, which you can now in the latest Mario Party. But Helldivers 2, I've been playing with some of my friends. It's a very popular game that's been popping off this month, and maybe it came out the month before. I can't remember. That's been a pretty good, fun game. It's not like a competitive shooter. It's more of a collaborative shooter where you're doing missions and working towards a goal together as opposed to facing another team. Okay. You're just facing like AI.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Nice change of pace. Obviously I mentioned the bachelor party that's on my list. I went to a Leafs game.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not a Leafs fan, but my friend that I went with is a Leafs fan. It was his first ever Leafs game. They lost. I was a little happy about it. He was not. But it had 11 goals in total. It was quite the thriller, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, I was following it on my phone.
Took a while to get home. But that's what happens when you drive to Toronto, where we live, from where we live. Yeah. This is a note I made here, which is not technically something I've done, but it's something I plan on doing which will hopefully be on my list for May.
Yep.
And that is, I realized I have a stack of comics / paperbacks that Matt has lent to me that I need to read.
I have like 5 issues still at home that you need to read too. Because you have like a couple of the issues of Titans. So you're like 5 or 6 issues behind.
Expect a comic heavy list for May.
True.
And then we play this game. I've played this game with Matt as well, which is like guess the anime opening game. Me and my girlfriend played sometimes, and it's been a long time since I played it, and I kind of got inspired to do it because one time, what were we doing where we played it? I can't even remember.
We were just hanging out, and then I was just butchering it really badly.
But I don't remember why, because usually, this sounds bad, but when we hang out, usually we do the podcast. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out why we were just chilling,
we were killing time because we had to go somewhere. That's what we were doing. Oh, that's what it was.
Where were we going?
We had to go to the States.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We were killing time. we were picking someone up from a flight.
Yeah.
I remember now. We're picking someone up from the airport. The flight got delayed. Good call,
So,
Matt. Good brain.
Thing is, I'm bad at anime openings.
Good brain.
Thanks, man. Anime openings, terrible. Mid-2000s
You skip
songs.
a lot of them though.
Oh, yeah, I skip anime.
That doesn't help.
That
doesn't help.
terrible.
though.
But I remember the one day we were hanging out like a year ago, and we started doing like guess the mid-2000s song. That I was.
You were very good at that.
That was
like incredibly good.
Yeah.
Like
2 seconds in, I was like, this song done.
like worrying for your mental health.
Yeah,
Good for some of them, but
yeah, they were little emo songs. It was fine. It was a phase, mom.
But yeah, at first I forget what it was, but there was like an opening I knew and I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, oh man, I used to be so good at this. And then I played with Matt. We just did like the pre-made YouTube ones,
Yeah,
and I was killing it. And I was like, oh, maybe
not bad.
it's all coming back to me. And then yeah, I played with my girlfriend, and yeah, I obviously it's like a lot of them are popular, and there's a few not a little, but
Yeah.
still, like there's probably 100+ that I can just couple notes.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a weeb out there, you can probably relate. There's a lot of us weebs that have this really weird skill where we can just pick something up, whether it's a voice actor and be like, he's from this,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
or something like this where you're just like, yeah, I don't. This opening, it's from this, this.
Done deal.
Season 2, part 1, part 6,
Boom,
7.
boom, boom.
That's for you, Attack on Titan. And yeah, that was pretty much it for my month. It was busy. On top of obviously working, and the planning did a lot for took up some time as well. But I'd say overall it was a pretty
busy.
solid April.
Good.
Pretty solid April. Trying to think if there may have been some stuff I left out, obviously, but things I want to try and do in May. One, we have a friend's wedding.
Yep.
So that's gonna take up some of my time. But
Which I'm excited for because that's the first wedding in like 6 years that I'm just a guest
you
at.
just get to enjoy.
I don't have to be behind a camera. I don't have to stress about anything. I just need to show up.
You don't get paid though for showing up, but you get food.
I got food, so
But yeah, I want to obviously read the comics that Matt got me, and
I don't even remember half the comics I have. Like we made a list, but I can't remember some of it.
watch the anime of the month.
Yep.
Obviously do
Probably-
the podcast.
A couple of big things that are coming out in May that we'll be discussing before I go into my list of what I did in April is Star Wars Tales of the Empire.
Oh,
We're gonna be
yeah.
Watching that. X-Men 97 ends soon, so we might talk a bit about that. I don't know if I'll watch it, but I don't know if you'll.
I'll watch it. Yeah, for
so
sure.
we can discuss that. Those are the two big things in May that I can think of on the top of my head. If we're going to try and go see the Phantom Menace in theaters again, and if we do...
It's going to be tough, but hopefully we can.
Yeah, there's going to be a teaser of The Acolyte, like the Star Wars show at the end of it.
Oh, they plan on doing it now.
So
Okay. We'll try.
We'll do our best.
We're going to try. The Haikyu movie also comes out, so there'll be attempts made to see some cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just find out next month what I actually was able to accomplish, and then we can all attack me when I disappointingly read like 3 chapters of Percy Jackson, 1 chapter of Dune, and
maybe a single issue.
The whole season of Gossip Girl. Dang. But take us away, Matt. What have you been up to? You've had actually quite.
My list is extensive.
Quite the busy. Actually, I think also one thing we should mention, since this episode is coming out on April 24th, that it was your birthday.
Yes.
Tomorrow, but yesterday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow for us. Yesterday for the people of the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, it was my birthday.
So happy birthday.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Way to keep living.
Crazy because like I have memories on Snapchat of exactly 1 year ago of us recording our episode 52.
That's correct.
Like on April 22nd of last year. So that's kind of cool seeing us record episode 104 today.
It's time
pretty
is
crazy.
Time is actually just straight up flying.
Which is crazy because so on April 23rd of 2023, I started this daily video project. We've talked about on the podcast a couple times before of me just recording random clips of my day, saying, "Good morning, Matt. This is how you're feeling," so on and so forth. Recording all the bad days, good days, etc. And as of recording this episode, like it's done tonight.
The personal project is done.
366 days later because of the leap year. My entire being 26 is recorded, and it's like
time to write a song. Feeling 26. No, it was 20. Like, is it? I guess it would be your 27th year
Yeah.
is
I
what you
turned
actually
27.
or was it your 26th
I recorded every day I was 26.
time?
When I turn it, because you're born, it really depends on your culture too. Because
Oh,
certain
that's
people,
yeah. Now we're getting complicated.
exactly, when you're born, people believe that you're one because you're living your first year kind of
Yes.
situation. So it really depends on where
Depends
you're
on
from.
how you're taking it, yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, so that is officially done.
How long is the final product?
Probably just under 5.5 hours, which is insane.
That's a long time.
Speaking of that, I got this past month, I guess 3 weeks or so, I got greenlit on 2 new projects where I'll be doing a documentary.
Who greenlit it?
Just people that asked me to do it, and we all agreed that sure, let's do it. And I got enough like people that are great to help me out with it and everything.
Wish
so,
I knew all these people.
I know, me too. Sometimes
Wish I had people.
you have me. So yeah, so I'll be doing a documentary about a local running crew that's in Niagara region, which is gonna be super cool. I have to interview like 20 plus people and their story behind why they run and why they joined this group and everything. So
Because Forrest ran.
So it'd be fun. And then
I'm just running.
And then another thing too is I got asked to partake in a cooking show.
Oh.
We're gonna
You're
be shooting.
competing?
No, we're
Oh.
just gonna be making a cooking show.
You're making a cooking show.
Yeah. So this guy who is a chef, everyone keeps telling him that he's like super funny and that he should make a cooking show and everything. So sometime in May, I'm gonna drive to Orangeville and we're gonna shoot a couple episodes of cooking show, which will be kind of fun. So I'm excited for that. Those are my few big projects. I mean, obviously the podcast, which is great. So if you don't know, we're doing video now. So check that out.
And like we said, do you prefer this webcam?
Split
I know
screen.
we're still
full
getting
set.
used to the webcam setup here of like
Yeah.
looking at you or looking at Matt or looking at Matt, and but my screen's over here because I'm recording this screen.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So I mean, we were never really looking at the camera over when it was looking at us anyways over there.
exactly.
So let us know what you prefer. If you prefer this close up,
Yeah.
or
It's
if
up
you
to you
prefer
guys,
the
you know?
one. Maybe we change it up. Maybe you never know.
Every
Sometimes we'll do.
episode's different set.
Okay, that's too much work.
Sorry.
Too much work, Matt.
Sorry.
Changing some background stuff is okay, and I don't even think this background stuff is gonna move it. It's too much work.
It's true.
Your background stuff we can change. We can just tilt you a different angle.
Exactly.
And
We
we can
got
put stuff on the
some
shelf,
stuff over
and then
here.
we can tilt you this way.
Different stuff up
D&D
here.
stuff's up there.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's most of my projects. Over the last few weeks, I guess also Power Ranger sessions. I had 2 sessions this month.
Yes.
We're taking a 1 extra week break before we go back.
Oh, I thought you guys were taking a fatter hiatus.
No, I decided last night that I have an idea for the next session. One of my players is gone for a few weeks, but we wrote
for your
her
loss.
character out for a little bit, so it's fine to continue.
So it kind of works out.
Yeah, we kind of did it where her character's off doing her own thing for now. So and then she can come back later if she wants. That's up
That's
entirely
nice.
to her. I don't want to.
It's nice to leave it open ended for the player, but also have it still work for the rest of the players. That's nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, I played a bunch of different board games. I bought a bunch of versions of Uno, so like Uno Flip.
You got time to play games?
Very briefly.
Oh, okay.
Uno Flip, Uno No Mercy, Ono 99, Dose.
So let me get this straight. You have all of these board games. I'm convinced some of them you've never even played.
Oh, there's a bunch.
And
of board
you
games I've
opted to
never
play Uno, just different types of Uno.
Uno Flip was pretty fun. I'll be honest
I'm
with you.
just-
Oh,
I'm-
Uno Flex was also really
I'm going to
good
be honest
too.
with you. That sounds ridiculous.
That's fair. I understand.
I
It's
mean,
'cause
I'm
they're
saying
quicker
that
games.
as someone who's played the online version of the game of life. Which was not maybe the greatest, but
Yeah.
we didn't even play till the end. We played, there's like a win condition to speed up the game where you can do
Yeah.
like first to 1 million or first to 1.5 million. We got like halfway through. I didn't even have a child yet, and I lost.
That's fair. Yeah. Another game that I played for the first time last week, so I got it for Christmas, was a game called 5 Minute Dungeon.
Okay, yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds
Oh, it
like.
was a 5-minute dungeon.
You download a free app if you want. You can use your phone, clock, whatever. But this one has like spooky voices being like 3 minutes remaining. And like
Nice.
all it is that you play. It's like D&D kind of inspired. So you can play as like wizard, sorceress,
Yeah.
Valkyrie, whatever, for example, and you have your own deck. And it's basically Dutch Blitz in the sense that there's dungeon cards for each like level of the dungeon, and you have to match the symbols before you can move on to it. There's like mini bosses and stuff like that. You have abilities to like skip over obstacles or people or monsters kind of thing. And you have 5 minutes to get to the bottom of that deck and defeat like boss number 1.
Okay.
And then if you beat that in 5 minutes, you reset the timer, you flip the thing over, and you go to boss number 2. But every single time you beat a boss, the next boss has 5 extra cards. So you
Right.
start off with 20 cards plus 2 cards per player for like extra mini bosses. So there's 24 cards, and then the next round is 29 cards, and then so on and so forth. Like depending on how many players. Like I played it 2 players, so 4 extra cards per series, for example.
Would recommend.
100% recommend. It's nice, easy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound overly complicated. This is the one issue I have with you and your board games, and I guess
I have a lot of them.
No
that are
offense,
super
Tim, but
complicated.
this is extended to you as well.
Yeah.
And I see these memes sometimes, and they're like that when you're finished explaining your board, like you're
45
2 hours
minutes
later is into like
Yeah.
explaining the board game to your friends, and then it's just like showing like skeletons.
There's a lot of good YouTubers out there that do like explaining this board game in 3 minutes, and it really does help that. Like this one particularly.
The issue is so many times board games, no matter how complex, it's so much easier to just play it and kind of learn it as you're going. But I am definitely one of those people that once you're starting like, you know, it's paragraphs. I'm like,
yeah,
bruh.
Says the D&D player. That's a different breed. That's a different breed.
That's also on the DM to know a lot of those rules.
Yeah,
like it is. I feel like it is also on the player to know and have an understanding of rules. But you don't have to be the all-knowing. That's the DM's
exactly.
job. And that's why I'm just not into. And like my brother will bring board games over to play. He's huge into board games as well. And sometimes it's like a Ticket to Ride. Since it's a strategy game, it can be complicated when you get into the complexities of creating a strategy. But it's simple in the execution of what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect kind of game. Same with Catan.
Yeah.
It can be very complicated when you start getting to all the strategy, but especially if you have like the like extended versions of the game.
Yeah, the Vikings and the ships and
but straight up Catan after a few playthroughs you're kind of like, okay. This is why I don't play games with Matt.
I'll bring 5-minute dungeons over.
I don't have the patience to play the games that Matt's never played. He doesn't even have his own patience.
True.
He owns them, and he's like, you know what?
I'll get to it one day.
What's the one series you have with all like has like the different villains, like the
Disney ones?
Yeah.
Disney Villainous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like part of me kind of wants to play that because it seems very interesting. But then you start explaining like the cards, and then each one has its own thing, or that it needs its all win con. I'm like, I can just see the spinning and
I'll send you the video to watch how to play it.
The eyes are glazing over.
Yeah. Well, it's good because in that defense for that game, it gives you a book of how to win, like how your character is supposed to win.
Okay, yeah.
So it kind of gives you a play-by-play of what you should try and do, which is pretty good.
He's dying.
I'm dying.
He's dying.
Thirsty. Moving on. Things I've read this month. I read a couple of Star Wars High Republic graphic novels, which takes place in Phase 2. Phase 3 is currently playing out in comics and books and everything.
Okay.
So I want to finish up Phase 2 before I go into Phase 3, the final phase of the High Republic series.
The final phase.
Acolyte show comes out later this year for the High Republic, which will be super fun. Caught up on My Hero Academia manga. We briefly talk about it on next week's episode.
Also a big My Hero Academia fan.
Yeah.
We're narrowing it down. Who is it?
Who is the guy named Matt who's a big My Hero Academia fan who's got a big following?
Find out
next week because that does not help. Read some graphic novels just here and there, just trying to outside of the Star Wars ones, just going through my collection.
Like rereading stuff
both.
or a little bit.
So
of both?
I wanted something that I've kind of read before in case I like doze off.
So you read Brightest Day.
Gosh, no, not that. That big boy. I reread Injustice Year 1, Volume 1. For those who don't know, the Injustice video game that came out years ago because it was on PS3.
Yeah, a long time ago now.
That takes place in like a dystopian world kind of thing, and they made a comic book about it that takes place 5 years before the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to do like Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, Year 5, and then the video game is Year 6. So it's just kind of cool. I mean, it's a very messed up, first issue, Superman accidentally kills Lois Lane, and it's the Joker's fault. So then Superman goes and literally fists, what's the wording here?
Yeah, but
Superman.
He what himself?
He punches Joker through the
himself.
chest.
Oh. Ace in the hole.
Ace in the hole situation.
If you know, you know.
Haha. So he kills the Joker, and that's just like the beginning of the chaos. No hero safe, no villain is safe. Like throughout this series, superheroes die, villains die. Like it's such an.
It's past my bedtime, by the way. So
I see that.
Yeah.
We can wrap this up quick.
No. Keep going. I'm just saying.
Another big one I read was New 52. I read volume 1 of Supergirl.
Yeah,
which
Supergirl.
I've never
Very
read
interesting.
Supergirl comic book before.
Oh, but you're
so
reading the New 52. I think I remember you texting me about this.
It was
saying,
really
like, hey,
different.
you're like, I think I'm gonna read some of the New 52 stuff that
Yeah,
maybe I
I
never
have
read.
some stuff in my
or
collection I
some
haven't really
felt
read
like
so far.
reading. I have
So-
I've been wanting to reread because I don't remember much of the New 52 stuff. Is the Batgirl because I have all the Batgirl.
You have the first 3 or 4 volumes.
I think I have all of it or a large chunk.
Yeah,
of
they
it.
did like redo it again. I think because they switched to us playing Batgirl at the time.
Yeah,
but-
so I kind of want to read that just to.
Refresh your mind and
see
just
what was
enjoy it.
happening.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing about Supergirl, which I've never read a Supergirl comic, so I didn't even think about this, is they do this in the show, or in the comic book, that she doesn't speak English. And to me, I didn't even thought, but because she's a teenager when she comes to Earth, she's been on Krypton. So why would she know English?
How long does it take her to learn English?
She didn't learn English by the end of the first volume.
Oh.
So she was only still speaking
Well, what's the
Krypton.
time that passes from the first volume?
I don't know. I haven't read the second volume, so I don't know.
You're just
how far
full of
that goes.
information then.
I'm so sorry. Okay. But it was really cool in that regard. I mean, the stylistic of the artist's choice was good. The story, like first 2 issues really got you in. Next couple issues was kind of meh.
Yeah.
I don't own volume 2, 3, or 4, but I own volume 5. And the reason
You
being,
should just read volume 5.
well, the volume 5
You
I
can piece
read
it together.
in single issues back in the day
Oh,
because it was the Red Daughter of Krypton.
Single issues is annoying to read.
Nowadays, yeah.
I have a whole
Um,
box, and sometimes
just
I'm like,
sits
oh, maybe
there.
a single issue. And then I have to
Yeah.
break it out of the plastic.
Different time.
And I have the
different time,
plastic
yeah.
taped.
But the volume 5 was when she got a red ring.
Oh,
Lantern.
you like that story.
So I have that in
I remember
paperback.
when that first happened.
That was
you
epic,
Yeah, you
dude.
were loving it.
Because that was so random. Like freaking Red Daughter of
You
Krypton.
do love your rings.
I do love my lantern rings.
Those lantern rings.
Um,
The emotional spectrum.
The emotional spectrum. Otherwise, I read, I don't know if I talked about this, I read the Cinderella Twisted Tales, finished that up earlier this month, which is a Disney book series that just takes classic Disney movies and does like a what if kind of thing. So this one was the whole what
I
if
think you've mentioned them before
Cinderella-
on the
I think I
podcast,
have,
yeah.
yeah. So what if Cinderella never put on the glass slipper?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, what happened?
I thought it was pretty
She
good.
just cleans the house for a while? Like,
No, so what ends up happening is she, like, the book opens at the end of the movie, basically. She goes to the ball, she comes home, glass slipper falls, whatever, right? And everyone's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
around for her.
Okay,
And Lady Tremaine, like the stepmom, hears the guy coming to the door, and she puts it together that Cinderella was the girl in the glass slipper. So she pushes Cinderella into a room upstairs and locks the door. So when the dude comes around, like, he tries the glass slipper on,
The
and
dude,
no one's there to
aka the
try it.
prince.
No, it wasn't the prince. It was like his,
Oh, right. Like his. I don't
yeah,
know.
like his,
What would you call him?
his duke, the duke of whatever, like his royal assistant, whatever. I can't remember the name exactly, but he like goes around and tries it on with the girls, and
his
obviously
people.
it doesn't fits the stepsisters. And then Lady Tremaine sells Cinderella like as a slave kind of thing, and then something happens, and she ends up being like working as a seamstress for the castle. So then
Oh.
she has like opportunity to meet the
The
prince
mice.
again, kind of thing.
No, she already had mice friends.
Sure, he had mice friends. But it was funny because there's moments of like her being like just in like regular like peasant clothes, and her seeing the prince, and she just being like, "He has no idea who I am. Like I'm not the cute princess anymore," kind of thing like that. Like so she like shuns herself, and then it goes to the prince point of view and goes, "Man, that girl looks really familiar all of a
You
sudden."
can't place her.
He can't
place
place
that
her kind of
actress.
thing. Yeah, literally. And then she like has this whole thing about
But she can talk to him and tell him.
no, because there was like a big thing because like days have passed and people and like it was all like across the kingdom be like, wow, whoever that girl was, like I can't believe she's standing the prince up, like kind of thing. So she felt embarrassed and she's like, and then it was across like the kingdom being like, could you imagine if she was like a poor little girl, like the prince would never go for that kind of thing, and like so. But it was really good. Like they create like a second ball kind of thing, and then very similar thing happens again where she runs off and it's like
This time her glass slipper is found.
no, because well the glass slipper actually gets shattered at one point, so she doesn't actually get recognized.
That's very
from that.
classic, like twist on Cinderella. They break
Yeah.
the glass slipper.
But it was a really good, like, and actually it had like this whole underwhelming thing with the fairy godmother and why she had to be home by midnight. That's
What's the
because
role?
the kingdom, like, Prince, can't remember the name. I want to say Philip, but I'm not sure. That might be Sleeping Beauty.
It's not Prince Eric.
It's not Prince Eric. That's Little Mermaid. But basically, like the prince's
It's not
grandfather,
Simba.
the prince's grandfather, like had this deal with the fairies and stuff because fairy magic was like welcome and stuff, and then something happened, so they
okay.
banned all fairy magic.
And fairy magic.
That's why it was such like on a limit because fairy magic was banished and it was like completely legal. So that's why it was on such like a time restraint.
Get out of here, Tinkerbell.
But it's like really cool because like you find out like
she's a pixie. Does that count?
not different magic. Fairies and pixies are different magic.
Pixies allowed.
Pixie dust
is
versus
good.
fairy magic. But then you find out like the fairy godmother, the reason why she found Cinderella is because she had to deal with Cinderella's grandmother
Oh my gosh.
to protect like her daughter, but then she failed because Cinderella's mom died, and then so the fairy godmother came back to check up on it. It was like, oh crap, I
This
make sure. I
story
gotta
is
protect
set up.
pretty
way in
good
the
story to
past.
be honest. It was good. And then otherwise I've just been watching obviously Haikyu, finish that. I'm hoping to watch some anime this season for spring anime Kaiju number 8, Go Loser Ranger.
That's the attitude, bud.
So hoping to watch that throughout the May. And then been watching Gilmore Girls season 6 with the girlfriend. We're on season 7, the final season, before the 4-episode Netflix special Year of Life kind of thing.
Yes.
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, part of things that like when somebody ends up with someone, I'm like, why did you take that story approach? But I still got half a
when
season.
certain ships happen and stuff.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like someone left someone before marriage, and then it kind of
'cause
changes
it's
the
drama,
It's
Matt.
the drama, man.
It's for the drama. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has
Yeah.
to keep you watching.
Exactly, because one of them still loves each other.
Oh,
no!
no!
What's gonna happen next? But yeah, otherwise I've been collecting more single issues. I started reading Ultimate X-Men comics.
Yeah,
I'm
how's
reading-
the new Ultimate Comics been?
There's only 4
How-
titles that are out.
How are they? Are they good? Are they
So when they did Ultimate Universe originally, there was a lot more titles. This time around, there's only 4 right now, which is Spider-Man,
Keep it
X-Men,
simple,
Black
stupid.
Panther, and Ultimates.
Maybe that's what they're doing. Keep
Literally.
it simple, stupid.
It's really interesting for the Spider-Man one. There's a different take on it because Peter Parker never gets bitten by the radioactive spider.
Yes. You sent me this.
And there's a huge thing where he has this device, and it's like a young Tony Stark being like, "Dude, your timeline doesn't make sense. You were supposed to be bitten by a radioactive spider years ago. The spider's in the case. If you're
Well, what's the
trying to-
meme from the Spider movie, the Spider-Verse movies?
Which one?
The one where like it's a event.
Oh, canon event.
Yeah, his
Supposed to
canon
be his
event
canon
didn't
event
happen.
So they try and fix that.
It's broken. I
So
wonder
that's
if they're
kind of
following
interesting.
like if they're kind of
Could be, yeah. I could see that happening.
Because I always remember how everything
How
they're like,
big
oh,
of
that's a
that was.
canon event.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that X-Men, the Ultimate X-Men, takes place in Japan,
I like
and
Japan.
it's a new characters.
Did you see the stuff coming to Viz? All of the
Yeah.
Wolverine and the
Yeah, the Deadpool and the
Deadpool,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
I do own all of it already, but
I know, but like that was pretty cool.
I
to
thought
see.
that I was like, yeah, because I got like a free month subscription. You know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're with this and this, I was like, dang, if I didn't already own all that, I would totally be super more excited for
But
this.
it is cool. It's cool
Yeah,
that it's
it's,
coming to Viz to
The
the.
Spider-Man one
to
was
the
pretty
Marvel
good.
comic.
Same, like all of them were good. Like I have no complaints overall.
That's just some Marvel comics that are manga, or
Done by mangakas.
mangakas.
Yeah.
But they're coming out on both Viz and I assume they're already out on the Marvel app.
I don't think they're actually on the Marvel
They're
app.
coming out on both.
Exactly.
Fun times. Go read them.
Anyways, yeah, that's a spiel basically of what I've been doing this month.
It's been a busy month. Your schedule is both going to open up and not open up, is what basically what you're telling me this month, based on some things that have happened
Yeah.
in your life and whatnot, projects and etc. But doesn't mean the podcast will stop. The podcast will keep going.
keeps going.
It goes on 2 years of
Dun
a
dun
podcast.
dun as of next Wednesday. So thanks for listening again. Let us know if you like this display of how we're doing this on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, that's okay. Check us out on Spotify,
Yup.
Apple Music, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah,
what am I
yup.
saying? Wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there.
Yeah, pretty much any major podcast
Yeah.
platform we're on. If somehow we're not on one that you use, let us know. We'll try and get it on there. And just to wrap up, we watched Haikyu. Let us know what you thought, what your final thoughts are on the series in our Discord if you watched it. And for the month of May, we're watching Flying Witch. It's only 12 episodes. We're picking a little bit of a lower one because we're got a busy May.
Yeah.
Some weekends are going to be taken up by other
Packed.
things.
Yeah,
Like literally this weekend coming up, and then the weekend. That's 2 weekends we're going to be missing.
exactly.
Which is when
Yeah, what's
personally I get a lot of
Yeah,
watching
exactly.
done. So yeah, it's a 12 episode series. Join us. I'm really looking forward to it. Something
Me too.
different,
I'm pumped.
change of pace, something to make me feel good. Especially since I'm going to be watching Your Lie in April, so I need something to make me feel good.
You know.
Because if you haven't seen Your Lie in April, it can make you sad.
Exactly.
It's known to do that.
So
But
until
yeah,
then,
This has been
Thanks
another
for listening.
episode, a little bit on the longer side. We rambled
alright.
a bit. It's late at night. It's past my bedtime. Matt hopes it's his bedtime, but he'll probably be up
yeah,
for
like
a while.
3 hours, 4 hours till my bedtime. It's
But
10:30.
yeah, it's been it's been a good 2 years, and we hope to do more. We hope to keep
Keep
be
on
here next
keeping
year as
on.
well, and the year after that. Yeah. Other than that, have a great Wednesday. If you're listening to this on a Wednesday, have a great day that ends in Y. Otherwise,
Yeah. Until
And
then, thanks
please
again.
look forward to our
We'll see you next week.
to our big episode next week. It's a big one.
It's a big one. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.